Yes, Donald Trump is going to be in Macon, Georgia. This is a small town that is about an hour and a half southeast from where we are right now in Atlanta. Macon is actually what is called a majority-minority county with 55% of the population there being African American. So white Americans are a minority there, and that is significant for a main reason, which is that Donald Trump is, of course, courting those black voters. We've talked many times about how it seemed that Kamala Harris, even though she's still doing much better than Donald Trump among black men, that she's losing a little bit of ground when it comes to those black men, especially young black men. And so they are likely going to be the target of this rally by Donald Trump. The campaign has said that a focus of the speech, at least the focus that the campaign wants to put out there and make public, is a focus on the economy, on rising costs, and on the inflation. That is, of course, something that the Republicans have been pounding on for weeks and months now, because they know that it is an issue which the polls say Donald Trump is leading on. People seem to trust Donald Trump more when it comes to the economy. And in a town like Macon, that is also very important because there is a 25% poverty rate in that city. That is almost, or more actually, than twice the national rate. So two things to watch out for. What sort of appeals Donald Trump makes to African Americans, especially African American men, and what his message is on the issue of the economy and inflation.
You were also at the Kamala Harris rally yesterday, where she made a last-minute pitch to voters in Atlanta, and she really didn't hold back on her jabs at Trump, did she?
Absolutely. She really opened that speech with an attack on Donald Trump, really telling her supporters that there's really a stark contrast between her and her opponent. She called Donald Trump increasingly unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed by grievance, and out for unchecked power. And she repeated one of her famous lines now from her speeches, which is that he's going to come in to the White House with an enemies list, and she will be coming into the White House with a to-do list for the American people. So she really attacked Donald Trump, but that was not just what her speech was about. She also put out some of her main programs on policy, especially when it comes to the economy. And she also had a sort of hopeful message talking about how she's going to work to make the life of Americans better. But really what was interesting there is that, like many of the speakers before her, she asked the crowd, did you vote early? And almost all of the crowd responded with arms up in the air, with shouts. And she told those people, she said, okay, great, thank you, you did your job, but the job is not over. We have a few more days until Election Day. What you need to do right now, if you have voted, is call your friends, call your family, call your coworkers, and check that they have voted. And if they haven't, that they make a plan to vote on Election Day. We've had record turnout for early voting here in Georgia, but she knows, and Donald Trump knows, that this is going to be an extremely tight race, and so they still need to bring out those votes on Election Day. They can't just simply rest on what happened in early voting. And so Kamala Harris tried to bring the vibes in that rally. There was a lot of energy going around there, and the people that we spoke to seemed to be feeling that energy. They were pretty positive, pretty optimistic, but every time I asked the question, are you confident about a victory for Kamala Harris, the first answer was, of course, yes, we are. We're going to win. We're confident. But there was always a but. But we're not overly confident. But we are cautiously optimistic. So they feel that they can win, but they are very wary of about what would happen. And that is why they are trying to get out every single one of those votes on November 5th.